This is the Brubacher Beyond podcast, where we are shaping the world that we're living. So my name is Kristy, Director of Business Development. I am tasked with finding new opportunities in different industries that we're currently not in. We are in San Antonio, Texas, at the DirtWorld Summit. And I have a guest with me that we are at the DirtWorld Summit. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, so my name is Kristy Black, and I'm the owner of Black Hydrovac, and thank you for having me on. It's really exciting. We're here at the DirtWorld conference. There's great energy and lots of people here. We're having a great time.
Yeah, I think, it's over 1,000 people maybe? I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely bigger than last year. I was able to come last year. They learned a lot from last year, but definitely looking forward to next year already, but don't want to get ahead of myself. But
the quality of speakers that they've had here has just been phenomenal. So just learning so much, just great energy from all of the speakers, and the fact that they're able to attract such big profile names and just people from our industry sharing their stories. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, so again, you want to tell us what you do? I found you on the list of attendees, but would you like to tell about your company and you? And
so I started Black Hydrovac in 2020 in the height of COVID.
Did you plan for COVID?
I mean, didn't you?
I mean, it was like the world's coming to an end. Yeah,
it was a great time to start a company.
But you were planning to start your company in 2020.
Sort of. So we kind of had the idea for a couple of years. We've been playing around with the idea of starting a construction company, and my husband has been in construction for a long time. His father and his father's father. So generationally, they've been in construction. I had a very traditional female type of job.
Okay.
I worked in nonprofit, in the education space. I was a teacher for many years. And I had a very traditional kind of life and role. I was a mother. I stayed at home for a couple of years to take care of my kids. But one of the backbeats of my marriage was my husband and my father-in-law always saying, "Hey, Kristy, you should start a construction company." And I said, "Well, that sounds ridiculous. Why on earth would I do that? I'm a mom. I worked at a school. I was in IT. I taught computer lab. Why on earth would I
want to start a company?"
Right. But it was kind of always
in the back of your mind,
and we would play around with different ideas. And then one day we kind of stumbled on this idea of vac trucks because...
Well, for people that don't know, what is a vac truck? Let's just go down this. Let's go down this little adventure train, but describe to the audience who doesn't know what's a vac truck.
Yeah. So we do hydro excavation. So the truck is basically equipped with a giant pressure washer and a giant shop vac, which sounds kind of ridiculous that you would have this sort of thing. But it's a new way of excavating soil. You're going to pressure wash the ground, and you have a giant vacuum to suck up the slurry.
Okay. And this is mostly in areas where they call no digs. So they don't, the risk of hitting XYZ cable is too expensive, or there could be damage, infrastructure, it goes on and on and on. So you use this vac truck to suck away the material or the slurry away.
Exactly.
And that's mostly what you focus on is like fiber op. Is there a
so we're digging on top of utility lines. So vacuum excavation is all about safety and non-destructive digging. So we can dig directly on top of underground infrastructure without damaging it. So why would you go through this exercise of pressure washing the ground and vacuuming it up? Because we can dig that way without damaging anything that's in the ground.
Yeah, and I mean the other way is, I guess, hand dig, but there's still risk to hand digging because you have the shovel, you have picks, you have all of that. You're using a water to create a slurry, to vacuum it out, And then once you vacuum it out, you guys haul it off site sometimes, or sometimes leave it on site.
We do. So even hand digging, it's dangerous both for the person that's doing the digging and to the utility in the ground. Of course, it's safer than heavy mechanical excavation, but there's still a lot of dangers.
Risk. Yeah.
So then we're going to vacuum that slurry up, and then we have to take it to either a processing facility, or sometimes a job site will be large enough that we can dump the slurry onto the ground. And of course, it's just dirt and water, so it will dry
Yes,
out.
non-contaminated. You don't have to really test it. I'm guessing there could be those things, but... And so this would be inside of substations, inside of, I guess, medical facilities. I mean, you name it, right? It's all over the place.
So it continues to grow. And as more and more construction professionals learn about the safety and the benefits of hydro excavation, more and more people are adopting it. So most of the work that we do in Northern Virginia, a lot of it, maybe 70-80% is in the data center industry. And that's because the data centers are particularly sensitive to utility disruption.
And so that inside buildings, outside buildings?
Most of the time we're working during the construction process.
Okay.
Outside, sometimes we're working inside the footprint of the building.
Okay.
But not typically digging inside of data centers. We do dig inside of buildings sometimes, though. So we can run hoses off of our trucks. We can dig a couple 100 feet away from wherever the truck is stationed.
Okay.
And, for example, we dug out an elevator shaft.
Wow, interesting. So we have vac trucks at Brubacher. We use them for identifying the utilities are underground before our excavation team goes in with traditional excavation. We do this because we don't want it to miss the mark. And sometimes it doesn't ever happen, maybe ever, but the utility could be marked wrong. It could be a couple feet off. So we do this. So our vac truck team goes in front of our excavation team, will identify all the utilities. So when that operator is operating, he can operate with confidence.
Right.
We've already physically seen those. So we do those as a safety and also to help production, but it's to help our team members as well.
Right.
And so that was one of the things I was interested in. Like, you're far enough away from us. We don't compete, right? But even if we competed, I think you have different customers.
We do.
Lists.
We do. And there's so much work to be done. There's enough to go around. Even if we were in the same market,
yeah,
we would still both be busy.
And I think the biggest restriction right now is there's not enough vac trucks, right? Like,
That's right.
If you order a vac truck today, I don't know if you've looked into it lately, but if you order one, how long's the wait?
Right now, probably 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so they're getting a little bit better. I know it was like up to a year.
For a while,
COVID.
It was a year.
Yeah.
During COVID, I mean, we started during COVID, and it was a take whatever we can get. So we would take rental units, we bought some used trucks, we would take a new truck whenever we could, but we collected our initial fleet based off of what was available.
All right, so family comes to you, says, we think you should go in the construction business. You'd be an awesome person in the construction business. You make the decision to go in the construction business. It's predominantly a male world. Mm-hmm. You're a female. How does that work?
How does that work? Because there have been incredible women that have paved the way before me.
Okay.
Was it a hindrance for me being a woman? It was more of a hindrance that I came into the industry fresh. I didn't have a background in it. My family had general construction experience, but this was a very niche service.
Okay.
And it's got its whole world of information to understand. But that was actually what was appealing about Hydrovac, because most people in the construction industry, it was new to them too.
Yeah.
So when I found this idea of vac trucks, we started watching the market. We started understanding wow, this is something that really is going to grow.
Yeah.
Because the more people learn about it, the more they're going to realize that they need it. And it's so safety focused, it's going to grow. And a lot of people don't know what this is. I couldn't be an electrician. I'm not going to start a general contracting company. There's just too many people that are doing it and are so much better at it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
opportunity.
So specific. It's a niche.
Yeah.
It's new technology. This is something that I can learn, and then I can come in and I can have something to offer.
That's awesome. I would say this, though. I look at it the opposite, right? You're totally new. You don't know the industry. You haven't been filtered, and this is the way that we need to do it. You can think outside the box, or the box is always open, and you can do it a different way. But I'm sure there's learning curves. There's
it's intimidating.
Bruises and bumps along the way. So how do you build your team, or what do your team structure look like? Are they assigned to certain trucks or crews, or how does that world work?
Yeah. Well, first of all, about coming into the industry fresh, I was definitely an outsider. It's intimidating to come in that way, but it also turned out to be a really great advantage for us because I didn't know how anybody else did it.
Yeah.
So we did it our own way.
Okay.
I started the business on my own, so with the support of my family in the background, but it was just me, and I had to hire my own people. So from day one, I've always been employee-centric.
Okay.
Like, I needed people to come along this journey with me, and I had to sell my very first employees, hey,
your vision.
Yes, I have this idea, I have this vision of what this company can become. Will you join me?
Yeah.
So, especially to my earliest employees, they took a huge risk of joining Black Hydrovac and saying, hey, like, we're going to give this a shot. We're going to try. And then we were able to build something together from day one.
Now, were you able to find operators that were currently in or utilizing Hydrovac trucks? Or did you hire everybody with like, this is our first day, this is our first truck? How did that go?
We had one person that had experience on airvac trucks.
Okay.
Which is what we started with. We started with 2 airvac trucks. Very quickly, we found out that what the market really wanted was hydrovacs because the hydrovacs are bigger, they dig faster, they just have more capacity. And because of the soil conditions around Northern Virginia, it's very rocky. It was harder digging for the air trucks. The hydrovac trucks worked much better. So I started with a team of one person that had no construction experience, but just was like, hey, I'll come along this ride with you. One person with airvac experience, and then I hired a CDL driver that had background in fuel tankers and dump trucks.
Oh, okay. So he was the logistics of the truck and the operator. Then you had a guy that was an operator. Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's totally outside the box. Usually your operator is your truck driver, is your lead person, and then he has a helper. But
yeah, we pieced it together. And we also had another big piece of it was we had a mentor company. They're based in South Carolina. So they had been doing Hydrovac for 25 years.
Okay.
And they were a huge support. Like, we met them early on before the company was actually started, met with them, talked to them. It was a husband and wife that had built this site development company, but with a big fleet of vac trucks for quite a long time. They taught me so much.
That's amazing. So someone just in the industry, you guys just connected out of whatever the connections, and they were able to help you, and that's amazing.
Yeah, so they would actually send some of their employees up to Virginia to work with my guys, to train them. We would go to job sites together. We would do our early projects together side by side. So that was all about the power of relationships and networking and having good connections with people.
So it's been 4 years. How's it going?
Well, it's going great, but also so many challenges. Like, if anybody had ever told me, could ever have explained to me what it was like to have a small business before I started, I never would have been brave enough to try it. It's been wild. So many, the highest highs, the lowest lows, the constant roller coaster. But I've learned over time, like, the highs don't need to be so high, the lows don't need to be so low. We can just continue and be as steady as possible, because the hardest thing that I've dealt with already, well, something harder is coming.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You just don't know what it is.
We didn't break. It didn't break. Early days, I was really not sure. I was like, I could really screw this thing up. Take my life savings and the whole financial future of our family. I'm going to risk it on this business. Like, that's insane. That's a crazy thing to do. So yeah, like the first year, 2 years, in the midst of COVID, I was scared that we were really gonna screw something
Did you
up.
think COVID helped or hurt you?
I mean, it hurt us. There was no networking happening 2020 and 2021.
Yeah,
So
go out and meet people and get
Yeah.
off and
that was definitely hard. But at the same time, like the construction industry didn't really slow down in COVID.
No,
like
most of
we,
them kept
we
going.
just kept on rolling. So we still did okay. It was maybe a slower start, but we kind of needed that too.
Yeah.
Like that didn't really hurt us. Like we needed to work
Keep it
our
going.
way in
Yeah.
and not get in over our skis too quick.
That's cool. So, DirtWorld Summit, any takeaways from right now? I mean, we're 2 days in. We still have events to go to tonight. We have tomorrow.
You know, the thing about BuildWit is their tagline, making the dirt world a better place. And I started following Aaron Witt a couple of years ago, and that mission that they have, I was so relieved when I found them, because I was like, yes, there are other people in this industry that lead with this message. Because the reason why I got into business was not because I discovered some newfound passion for digging holes. It's because I just really wanted to work with people. I was like, I really think that I can build a company of really amazing people and that we can work in the trades, give people new opportunities. People are capable of amazing things if you give them the right runway, give them a path to working, give them some freedom, give them a leader that's going to trust them and give them opportunity. That's what I wanted to do. So when I found BuildWit leading with that message around people and wanting to make Dirt World a great place to be, it's like, yes, this is the kind of message that I want to align with.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's just so much. I mean, I'm just trying to take as many notes as I can and get back with the team when I get back and then digest it and see what we can improve and do better. And it is great, I think, having this community. Yeah. Thank you for being in my community.
Absolutely. I mean, the messages here is I'm fired up and ready to go take on the world.
Yes. So we just got done with a presentation from Sergeant, and he was talking about landing this plane. So, or keeping a vision, right? Like the higher you go, you have it. So how can people get hold of you?
Sure.
What's the easiest way to contact you?
So blackhydrovac.com is our website, but I'm really active on LinkedIn. So find me on LinkedIn, Kristy Black, and would love to keep talking.
All right. So if you need Hydrovac,
Virginia,
in Northern Virginia, West Virginia, DC, Maryland.
Yes.
You know who to call. You know who to find on LinkedIn. But thank you for being here, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
so much.
Thanks for listening to the Brubacher podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our podcast so you can listen to the new episodes each month. Share it with your friends in the industry and those who might like to learn more about the construction industry. Feel free to check out our website at www.brubacher.net. I'm Keith Brubacher, president of Brubacher Excavating Incorporated, and we hope you found our discussion insightful, and we look forward to the next time together.